Hey ghouls, welcome back to the Cozy Ghoul Society, your haunted little hideaway where cozy meets creepy and Summerween rolls on. I am your host if you're new here. My name is Anna, and today we're heading under the striped tent and into something just a little bit twisted. Because nothing says summer fun like cotton candy, creaky rides, and the stories of haunted carousels, disappearing clowns, and carnivals that just show up out of nowhere. Welcome to the Carnival of Shadows. You know those old-fashioned carnivals with the peeling paint and the lights that flicker just a little too much? They're not just aesthetic. They have stories, and real ones, honestly. But did you know that the carousel, yes, the innocent little merry-go-round, has been long linked to spirits? Some carousels, especially antique ones, were believed to trap souls, like the one in Watchung, New Jersey. I'm pretty sure I slaughtered that. I am so sorry. Where the legend says a little girl died near the ride, and sometimes the horse she rode on is warm to the touch, as if someone just got off. Honestly, that's a little eerie, and I think I would be like, okay, I am not touching that one, but I probably would actually walk the other way in general. I am not good when it comes to child ghost or things like that. There's something about that I'm just like, hell no, I'm out. Or we can talk about Lake Shawnee Amusement Park in West Virginia, which was built over a native burial ground. It had multiple deaths, including a drowning and a little girl who died on the swings. It shut down in the 60s, but people still visit. And they usually leave feeling nauseous or chased. I mean, I feel like those are ways that just tell you to, stay away. You don't need to return to this. And let's not forget phantom carnivals, urban legends about traveling fairs, and the ones that show up in the middle of the night and they vanish by morning with no tracks, no flyers, just memories. And I swear that is gotta be such a weird thing. You hear it, you've seen it, you want to go check it out, but you know you shouldn't because you know you're the only person who really sees it or hears it. And you're just like, yeah, no, I'm going to stay over there. But let's transition into some true facts, and they're a little bit creepy and carnival facts too. So, the Haunted Funhouse in Venice Beach. It was in the 1960s. During a filming of a horror show, a crew member tried to move a prop skeleton hanging in the funhouse, but it turned out it was not a prop. It was a real mummified body of a criminal from decades earlier. To me, I don't know what I would do with that. I genuinely don't know what I would do with that fact. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go move this prop. That's not really a prop. It's kind of lifelike. I don't know. It's kind of creepy. I'm gonna skedaddle. Okay, number two, fatal Ferris wheel incident in 1945. In a now defunct East Coast carnival, a Ferris wheel stopped mid-ride. When they got it moving again, two people had vanished from their seats. Their bodies were never found, but strange sounds have been reported at that very wheel that is now abandoned. Okay, but I don't like Ferris wheels. My uncle used to swing us in the Ferris wheel chairs all the time. And keep in mind, my uncle was afraid of heights. So the fact that he would do this, I have no real reason why I think he would do this. But yeah, I don't like Ferris wheels because of that. So we got our third one, the Tunnel of Love ghost sightings in Wisconsin. Okay, a former ride operator claimed that every summer, right around closing, the same woman in a red dress would appear on security footage. She never showed up in person, and no one ever bought a ticket matching her description. Yo, I don't know. How would you guys feel if you saw that? Like, how would you feel if you just knew that somebody was there and you could see them there on camera, but they genuinely were not there? Like, oh my God. There's something undeniably spooky about carnivals and fairs. And maybe it's just the way that they can turn screams into like laughter or laughter into screams, or how clowns are always just a little bit too happy. Historically, carnivals were traveling wonders, pop up worlds that arrived overnight and disappear just as fast. That alone feels a little supernatural, don't you think? Let's talk more creepy carnival lore. The Laughing Sally, a mechanical laughing woman from an old-timey funhouses said to still echo laughter even when unplugged. Creepy. The Man Who Never Left. I read this one to you guys already. So I liked this one so much, I wrote it down twice. So yeah, we're gonna just jump past that one. The Phantom Carnival, a folktale from Appalachia, tells us about a glowing carnival that appears deep in the woods once a year. If you join the rides, you never return. I'm just saying, even now, there are abandoned fairgrounds with dust. Oh my God, there is dust. You guys know there's dust. But with rusted rides, faded banners, and ticket booths that still smell like popcorn. If you guys could smell the popcorn in the woods, would you follow? Urban explorers say that they heard that the creak of the Ferris wheel turn, and there's no power. Oh my God, there's no power connected. Okay, I feel like everybody should put a 3 every time I say a word weird because that's just could be a funny little joke. So if I say a word weird, we just need to start putting a random 3 because it's just a little funny to me. But I'm going to tell a little Reddit style story that I wrote, and we're going to call it The Girl in the Red Hoodie. And I wrote it in a Reddit tone. So just know that this is not real, and we're going to write our own after this. And you guys can tell me more what you guys think after my little Reddit style story. So, we were at the summer fair in a small town. One of those old school ones with the homemade signs, half working rides, and cotton candy that left your fingers blue for days. I was with my cousin and his girlfriend. Everything was fine until we went into the haunted house. Halfway through the maze, there was this weird fog, too thick for a local setup. That's when we saw her, a girl in a red hoodie, not a part of the attraction. No jump scare makeup, just watching. We assumed she was someone's little sister, but every turn we took, she was there, closer, never moving. At the end, she wasn't behind us. She was waiting outside the exit. She looked straight at me and smiled and walked into the cornfield behind the ride. There was no cornfield on the fair map. We checked twice. What do you guys think about that story? Tell me exactly what you guys thought about that. We're gonna go into how we're going to write our own little carnival story. So it's your turn, ghouls, and we're gonna build our own carnival of shadows. This part is fictional again, and it will be completely us. Let's create a little story together. You can imagine this as a dream, a vision, or a cursed road trip. Are you ready? Picture this. You're driving with your friends on a summer night. You took the wrong turn off a sleepy highway, and suddenly there it is, a glowing carnival lit with string lights. No signs, no sound, but there's something about it that draws you in. Is it a carousel where the horses have no eyes? A mirror maze that whispers your secrets out loud? A cotton candy booth that sells the flavor that you can't name but reminds you of forgotten dreams? A clown tent where there's no one ever leaves the same? You're handed a paper ticket that says one, and the Clark, oh my God, and the clock starts ticking. What would you do at your carnival? What would you find? A haunted teacup ride? A ghostly petting zoo? Drop it in the comments or send a DM. I will read my favorite submissions in a future episode. But we're going to do one more segment before we close out, and this one is creepy fair legends from around the world. In Mexico, there are urban legends of La Fiera Fantasma, a traveling fair that appears after dark with no workers, and the only role is never ride alone. In Japan, spirits called the obake are said to be drawn to festivals. If you spot a masked figure not dancing, but just staring, you're supposed to leave immediately. In France, a carousel built in the 1800s was shut down after a child vanished mid-ride. Some say her laughter can still be heard when it spins in the wind. In Tennessee, a now defunct traveling circus reportedly had a shadow tent, a space with with no performances, just flickering lights and strange noises. Locals called it the Memory Eater. I freaking got chills that one. That was such a weird, I try so hard to feel like, oh my God, be 1,000% authentic and show your personality. And then I'm like, is that little extra? But I am extra, so I can't really be like, is that too extra? Is it not? Summer fairs are made of magic and memories, but sometimes memories come with shadows. Whether you believe the lore or just love the eerie aesthetic, the truth is, the carnival is a liminal place. You step in and you're not quite sure in your world anymore. That's the beauty and the fear. Thank you for joining me on this ride through the Carnival of Shadows. Next week is our Summerween final episode, and it's one you don't want to miss. Until then, stay weird, stay witchy, and beware of the girl in the red hoodie. Bye, guys. Summerween.